Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's episode 3. We're back for another episode. Episode 3 of WandaVision.
Woohoo!
Dan, I'm filling for time, because I don't know how to start this, because we're jumping straight into it. There's a new fun intro of WandaVision.
This going to be the same every week now. You can keep doing this. I mean, maybe for every 10 minutes for them, but every week for us.
For us, it's going to be a lot of faffing about.
I'm so sorry for everything, but...
They're on a bicycle. It's in colour.
WandaVision now in colour. With a nice 1970s opening theme.
Yeah. What do you think?
Well, the episode, or...
Well, in general, yeah. Episode, into your thoughts, feelings, emotions, Dan.
Well, the intro, I mean, I wasn't a big fan of this intro as I was last week's.
Really?
I
enjoyed it.
I really liked last week's intro.
I like the giraffe.
Not as a bad intro. I mean, I think it's plenty fine. It does the job, but it's not my favourite one.
Sure. They're eating ice cream?
I'm very interested.
Without...
There's rumours that they might be doing a Modern Family style one in one of the later episodes.
Well, that'll probably be the next.
Modern Family's 10s.
Oh, there's a reboot of Modern. Oh, that one.
Do you mean the Goldbergs?
No, that's set in the 80s. That's not me.
That's
like, what, a Fuller House? Is that it? Is that what they're parodying?
I think it's that one, yeah, Fuller House.
That's the one. Yeah. Well, Wanda's pregnant, and that's the whole basis of this episode.
Yes.
She's pregnant with twins.
Although that's not revealed to the end, but you know.
Spoilers. If you've gone this far, we've already done episode 1 and 2. And then if you're like, hey, look, episode 3. Spoilers, man. Come on.
I mean, at this point, episode 3 is going to be out for 6 weeks.
It's going to be out for a long time. You've had all the time in the world. Unless you're doing it like you just binge watching it. But then why are you listening to the spoiler review before you've binge watched it? Anyway.
This is going great.
We're already complaining halfway into the fucking... A third of the way into the season? Because there's 9 episodes?
Yeah.
Right, let's get through this.
This is so bad.
It's fine. All we're doing is watching Wanda have a conversation with her doctor, who's a little bit...
Yeah, but 1970s, you know? That's the humour.
Making those 1970s... I don't know. I can't remember what he says, but I know it was... Because she makes a little questioning face. And then,
yeah, and there's always this kind of joke behind it, so they don't know where the baby came from, because it didn't actually... You know, she's like 6 months pregnant at this point, isn't she, or something like that?
Now, Dan, do you reckon Vision has a penis? Because he can...
He definitely has a penis. He definitely has.
Not just smooth? Because I can't remember in Age of Ultron, because he comes out and he doesn't have one.
That's true. But it can get like a cake, can't he? He can create things. He can change what his face looks like. He can grow hair.
Yeah, he can grow. So maybe Wanda, because Wanda may or may not be controlling this reality. Maybe she's given him a penis. And when they were doing it hanky-panky style in the last episode under the covers, he put that robot dick in her.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then maybe it's... Whose sperm do you think it is? Because can he create sperm, or does he have an artificial supply?
WandaVision's created the baby. Why do you think this?
I gotta wonder if...
Sure. It's yellow floaty things. Let's move on. Please move on. Right, so the Doctor's going on holiday, which will come back later on in the episode, which, is a nice little callback in the episodes.
Well, it's a nice little foreshadowing of what, because it's like foreshadowing he's going on holiday. We're just going to jump ahead and move around a lot. It doesn't matter that much. But it's like, later a bit, he goes, I can't go on holiday. It's like, you can't leave this place. Hinting that he's kind of trapped here and he can't leave.
Yes, which opens up a lot of interesting theories behind this.
And the end definitely opens theories.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the end? Because we don't have to stick to a structure. We can just pick and choose what we want.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Do you want to say what happens at the end?
Okay, yeah, sure.
We'll sort of there's a character introduced. Oh, do you remember what their name is?
G, I think, begins with G.
Wait,
is it the black guy or is it the?
No. Well, he's acting weird.
Yeah, so
he's got a hedge trimmer and he's just sort of glitched and started digging into the wall.
Yeah, which is very weird.
And Vision's like, "Oh, you aware that you're cutting into your wall?" And he goes and looks at it and goes, "Oh," and then continues doing it. And then later on, after all the shenanigans that have happened with the baby and Vision, like, preparing to... He's still there later on.
Yeah, and he's chatting to the girl.
Yeah.
Can't remember the name. People who've watching the episode know the name, because they've watched the episode. Yeah. And they have this.
It's been a while since we watched it.
Yeah, we didn't quite record this on the same night, which we were going to, but whatever, it's fine. And then they have this kind of discussion, sort of behind Vision's back.
Yeah.
And it's all a bit weird.
It's a bit off. But yeah, I know that the character who's in the episode, who's Wanda's, who like comes in and helps Wanda give birth and stuff, is meant to be Monica Rambeau. I think I got the last week's one because I was like, oh, that's meant to be Monica Rambeau.
No, it's the same person.
Is it? It doesn't.
Yeah, it's the same person.
Oh, maybe it's just the makeup making some look different.
Probably the dark, the black and white. So
maybe I think
it's the same person.
Yeah. But they're Monica Rambeau, who's from Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau.
Yeah, Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau.
Yeah, but I can't remember if the daughter is a different.
The daughter's a Monica Rambeau.
Yeah, I can't remember what the mom's called.
No, do I. Anyway,
but yeah, that's meant to be her. So we're just going to refer to her as Monica Rambeau. We might be wrong. We might not be wrong.
It is.
Should have done a bit more research.
Anyway, so Wanda's just given birth to the twins, and she's having a discussion with Monica, or in this show she's called something else. No, Darcy is the woman talking to. No, Darcy's the blonde chick.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so this Monica is like she's playing a character in a TV show. Her name's not Monica in the TV show, and her personality is kind of like very
bubbly,
bubbly, very happy, and she's talking to Wanda at the middle of the episode, kind of saying like, oh, about a work story or whatever. And then there's this kind of comedy joke where there's a stalk, and then Wanda can't get rid of it
because it's like a magical story and change the reality because she's having a baby.
Yeah, it's all nice Davis comedy in there, nice 70s acting. Anyway, she mentions like, oh, about twins, and then Wanda's like, oh, I was once of a twin of Peachly. Monica.
He was killed by Ultron.
But it's a kind of look in her face. It's like reveal.
There's some sort of phasing thing happening around her face. He's like kind of snapping out of it, and also Vision has a moment where he kind of questions what's happening when he's on the couch with Wanda.
Yeah, and then she snaps back,
and then it just kind of cuts and reverses back, and then it's because she has a panicked look on her face, like figuring it out, and then she's like worried because I'm watching this at the moment, and then it just kind of jolts, and then it cuts back to like a few seconds later, and he's like changed his opinion on what's happening, and he's all happy and like, this is great.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and so Monica's currently got a sword logo on her pendant.
Yeah, so in the first episode we saw that in the notebook that they're writing in.
I didn't notice that bit.
Yeah, that's in the when the TV screen comes out and you see the hand, they're writing in a sword book.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's also on the helicopter. I rewatched that as well.
And it's also on the B-Man suit as well.
Yeah.
So on the back of the second episode.
Definitely got something. This and sword in the comics stands for sort of space, whatever it is. It's basically Space Shield. But I think they changed the acronym for this show.
Yeah. Anyway, Wanda's getting she's a bit pissed at Monica.
Yeah.
Who's looked like she just kind of snapped out of a trance.
Yeah. And she's getting really angry at the mention of Ultron and like trying to, who are you? Because she's like, what are you doing here? And the neighbors, Vision goes out at this point, has already gone out at this point to say goodbye to the Doctor, who does the he can't leave, so he won't be going on holiday. And then he talks to the neighbors, and the neighbors are like, oh, is what's a Monica in there? Because she's not from around here.
Yeah.
And they're like, they can't say why it's bad, and they're kind of like glitching, sort of. They're like trying to reset the concept.
And then
because Vision keeps pushing it.
The guy was about to spill everything.
Herb. Yeah.
Guy. I
think the guy's name is Herb. I don't know the girl's name.
Anyway, she
look it up.
She goes to Herb.
Talking, I'll look it up.
Yeah, so she goes to Herb and says, "No, shh, can't say anything." So it seems like they know what's happening, and then they tell Vision to go back inside. And Vision goes back inside, and then Monica's disappeared. And Wanda said everything is okay, and then Monica's just been flung outside this imaginary world where the helicopters come in to come find her. And then it ends.
Okay, so the actress's name is Catherine Hahn, but she's just put down as Nosy Neighbor, so she doesn't actually have a name.
Yeah,
at least according to.
I think she does have a name, but I don't know what it is. And then it ends there. So at that point, it opens up a lot of kind of theories about what's going to happen.
Ooh, this is interesting. Looking at the cast list, I know it's probably because it's Google and it's probably just generated by things, but James Spader Ultron up in the cast list, so James Spader's Ultron.
Interesting.
Or in future episodes. So that's something to speculate, because Ultron is name dropped, and he is the cause of its death, Quicksilver. And I'm sure, and also there is the potential that Ultron may still be out there because he is an AI and he could have unlocked it.
Yeah. Anyway,
and it could still be a part of Vision. You never know.
So, what do you think about sort of Sword then? What do you think the plotline is for that?
It's interesting because in the comics, Sword is good because they're basically the space version.
I think Sword is good.
Yeah, I'm questioning whether or not they're trying to break Wanda out of this. But every time they go in, it happens to happen to Monica, and you kind of get forced into that reality, and then you kind of snap out of it, and then Wanda just kicks you out. Because what happens is Wanda, like, throws a massive, like, what the fuck are you doing here moment, and then it just cuts to Vision coming back in. And then it's just, she's not there anymore. And then the episode sort of ends, and then it cuts to a bubble, and Monica just gets shot out the bubble, and she looks like dazed and confused, and then a whole bunch of SWAT people surround her, and then you sort of see floodlights on this bubble, and there's like tents in the background.
I've sort of seen some theories about maybe Wanda's actually the bad person in this show. Maybe she's the villain. Well, or she's unaware of being the villain of the show. And then she's actually controlling the minds of everyone around her. Because if you notice everyone around her, they have a personality of they're in their show. And it's only sort of at a point where they snap.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. This might be sort of ridiculously stupid. But this is me just coming up with this on the spot because of what I just saw on the casting list with James Spader's Ultron, or is in the mentions of the cast. If Ultron had a piece of his system in Vision still, just dormant, hidden away, like when Vision does that, gets rid of Ultron, maybe got into Vision somehow. But then once Vision dies, that part of Ultron regrows and starts starts communicating to Wanda to come and get Vision, and then take Vision, and has corrupted her mind a bit to try and create this reality and has tricked her. This is maybe very far out there. This may be one of those so ridiculous it's not true, but if it did, that'd be a great way to bring Ultron back, and then they could as a proper continuing threat in the MCU.
Well, I don't know if you saw this, because I saw this this week. Apparently, an end credit scene in Endgame was cut out.
Yeah.
Where it was Scarlet Witch or Wanda going to check a grave or like a cemetery, going to go get Vision's body, and it was just lying on the flatbed. And then she saw him, and it would just cut, and then that would lead into WandaVision.
That I'm guessing they cut it because the end. There's the no end credit is great for ending.
Yeah, and I think another theory, it could be Wanda is trying to bring back Vision from the dead.
Yeah, and
maybe she's got stuck in some kind of machine or whatever.
Yeah, I reckon, because there are people in the comics, and people who know comics a lot better than us have said that there's like the devil could be the deal with the devil, and in order to bring him back, she's had to create this reality, and she's had to sell a part of her. And that the devils in the Marvel comics are like
right.
So it's like stuff like that who are like really powerful devils in the other universe, and they could be trying to affect. But yeah, it's like what is going on? Because that end credit thing, that end scene, makes me go, what is happening? Because I was like, is this just an alternate, all in her head? But it seems to be a real life place where people have actually just gone, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, I mean, so much. I don't know how to process this.
What do you think of Paul Bettany with his little...
I actually really like Paul Bettany in this show. I think he does a really good job.
But I think Elizabeth Olsen is fucking kicking ass in all of this, because she's doing so much, like everything, like every emotion. She's great.
It's really good. Really good acting in this show. Yeah. Also, did you notice the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. reference during the advert?
The Hydra thing?
Yeah, so in the advert was Hydra bath soap.
Yeah. Also, apparently you can now buy the Strucker watch from the last episode.
Oh, can you actually? Well,
Yeah.
in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4, where they're in the framework, Phil Coulson mentions that Hydra are controlling everyone by using soap. So that is a callback to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4.
Also, I think there's a tagline in your problems aren't something else. Yeah, it's do you need a break? And it's like Wanda's broken from reality if you want to dig in it to that way. And
There's
it's
a
like
lot of
escape
Easter eggs
to
in
a
the show.
world and your problems float away and all that. And it's when you want to get away and you don't want to get anywhere, it's like create your own reality. So it's in the ad itself is kind of creating Wanda's doing all of it. Which I think it's a given that Wanda's doing it all.
Oh,
'Cause
100%. She's completely controlling this whole universe. That much we do know, and it even seems like she's controlling Vision.
Yeah.
To some extent.
At least fixing maybe his personality to match better with what she.
Yeah.
She's not letting it free. She's fixing what she doesn't like the questioning, because it's like the last episode where it reverses everything so that it's all happy and the B-Man isn't. He's kind of like it just like reverses back and it's like that.
I think this episode has really made me interested into. Like I liked it beforehand, but now I'm really hooked into it. I really want to know now what's happening.
What do you think of the like setting up the baby room and the names? Because Billy.
Yeah, so that is two people in the comic books.
I think they've got different names in the comic books.
No, I think that's his names in the comic book. But the
I think they're
actual
slightly different.
The people in the comic books, it's another Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, basically, but they're both men.
Yeah, it's
one's a speedster, one has a witch ability, basically.
One's
called Wiccan.
Yeah, like he's the speedy boy, and then there's
Wiccan's the witch one.
Oh, whatever. There's one who can do speed, and apparently in the comics there is a Marvel run Scarlet Witch actually are
incest
comic. But the thing I wanted to talk about in that when Vision said like baby training stuff, and he's doing that little doll, and it's a little blonde doll, and it's a female doll. In the comic book, House of M is like one of the only people who remembers mutants, because there's a big whole thing where Wanda goes, no more mutants, and wipes out mutants, makes it so there's no more mutants, and only a couple mutants is one of them, and he meets a little girl who remembers mutants, and then through that, they remake all the mutants, and then they go and fight Wanda and get all the mutants.
Yeah.
So, if that's setting up that little girl's going to be in the show, they might be doing the reverse of it and making mutants a thing in the end.
Maybe mutants were already a thing, and then Wanda already had these powers.
Well, there's this episode or one of the previous episodes. There's a line that they say that it was already dormant in her. The stuff. If Wanda creates this massive blast of energy from the power stone, what stone? Mind Stone.
Mind Stone.
It might unlock the the Terrigen and stuff.
Maybe. But we'll have to see in the next episode.
Yeah, I think that's enough time for this one. We'll cut straight to number 4.